KBC English Service. Your number one radio. KBC English Service.
Let's now get a special tribute of Tanzanian former president. Of course, he served as Tanzania's third president from, 1995 to 2005, if I'm not wrong. Of course, yesterday, President John Magufuli confirming his death through a State of the Nation address after short illness. I've seen several messages of condolences from dignitaries. He's a man well remembered for, bringing post-election violence of 2007 to an end, of course, alongside former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, where, the anarchy had erupted after the controversial polls between former Premier Raila Amolo Odinga and President Mwai Kibaki. Good to speak to you, David Matsanga. As a Pan-Africanist, of course, Mkapa was equally an avid lover of regional integration. He contributed immensely towards revival of East African community. How else do you remember him?
It's a sad day for East Africa, a sad day for Africa, a sad day for the world. A man who cherishes in peace, a man who wants conflicts resolved, a man who stands by Pan-African vision, a man who stood by many African countries during the darker days of sanctions on Zimbabwe. I personally took part in several engagements with Benjamin Mkapa on the question of Zimbabwe, in the Commonwealth, in the Troika, and in many other institutions before Kikwete. He introduced me to President Kikwete, who was then a foreign minister of Tanzania. I knew the president very well, whenever we could pass by Dar es Salaam, I and Joachim Chissano, when we are handling the peace process between Uganda and the rebels of Uganda, we participated. He took part in giving us advice on how to conclude this process without much time wasted. We've lost. He stood a Pan-African who said it as it is. One of the things that he said, he never shied away from controversy. He never told people that he would duck a question. He looks at Africa. He looks at an African position. He wanted a united. He was a true spirit of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, a true inspiration of Julius Nyerere. Whenever you could look at Mkapa, you look at Julius Nyerere's foundation in him. And you could see that Tanzania had many, many friends, surrounded by friends, created, returned the East African community, the integration that we yearn for. A great man has gone, a great Pan-African, a great leader. Africa has lost a son.
Dead at 81. The last time he appeared in public was, I think, 2 weeks ago during the National Convention Congress by CCM Chama Cha Mapinduzi, that is the ruling party, ahead of the presidential polls. Of course, also in attendance was former presidents Ali Hassan Mwinyi alongside Mheshimiwa Kikwete. What does this mean of the polls ahead and of, the solidity of CCM?
I am a great supporter of Chama Cha Mapinduzi, a great son, a man who has grains that trace back roots in Tanzania. I went to Tanzania in 1978-79. I have so many great commanders, Tanzanian commanders of TPDF, friends of mine. I still go there to check on them. I still check on General Muzuguri, the Black Mamba. Whenever I go to Dar es Salaam to check, he was one of the heroes of our liberation against Idi Amin in 1978, 79, 80. They steered our freedom back, which had been denied by the murderous regime of Idi Amin, that we fought against and removed. I support, I respect the Tanzanians. And let me tell you, CCM has a base. It's one of the few liberation organizations that still stick firm together in Africa. Most of them have fallen to pieces. Most of them have been disintegrated by, let's say, in Angola. My in-laws in Angola have disintegrated MPLA. They fight on several things. ZANU-PF, you can see the divisions. Frelimo, you can see the divisions. Uganda People's Congress, you can see the divisions dead. KANU here is resurrecting. A Congress Party of Malawi has just come up to win an election. Kaunda's in UNIP. You know, all these things are here. And a student of political science on the international scene and Africa must remember that these parties were the founding parties that brought independence. KANU brought independence under Jomo Kenyatta. And today we see KANU making inroads. So CCM is a formidable party in Tanzania, and I have no doubts at all it will win these elections in October.
Back home in Kenya, county revenue allocation, it's something that continues to divide politicians across the divide. Yesterday, for another, third time, Senate had to be adjourned because senators couldn't read from the same page on the way forward, no consensus. Yet, despite several Kamkunji meetings that had been planned to ensure that, an agreement is reached, what is happening? Senators from marginalized communities saying that, they are not being prioritized, their interests, because revenue allocation is pegged on land masses, the population. What's the way forward? Considering that also, the competence of Honorable Kenneth Lusaka as the Speaker of the Senate is at stake. People are questioning his credentials. And we saw yesterday Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. taking to his Twitter handle saying that, it's high time the Speaker and former Bungoma Governor can get scrutinized because what he's doing is not in the best interest of the Senate. Are we headed to another, unprecedented times at the Senate?
I think there are two issues that come out here. When you allocate funds, do you allocate funds to forests or to land? You allocate funds to human beings that inhabit the land, isn't it?
Yes.
Let's agree. Let's begin reasoning from there. You are allocating funds to human beings. That means you are allocating funds to the people that occupy the land, isn't it? You are not allocating funds to the land mass. You cannot allocate money to the land mass of Kenya, including Lake Victoria. Because what lives in Lake Victoria is fish. Okay?
Yes.
So Kenyans must find a formula. It is only politics. Someone politicking. Some people are politicking, bringing in politics. The use of Machiavellian, Nikolai Machiavelli. Don't forget there is a Kenyan who is a Nikolai Machiavelli who hides behind all this. Every Kenyan knows this Nikolai Machiavelli. And for you, if you press me further, I will name him. We know the Nikolai Machiavelli, the man who schemes things. There are people scheming. Let's leave the politics of Machiavelli. Machiavellian politics will never bring development in this country. Let the senators sit down. Let the senators find a very good position of agreement. The money, the marginalized counties can be compensated in another way. You don't need now, for example, look at Nairobi's county, look at Kiambu county, look at the other counties like Kagameka. These are huge counties with huge population. The needs of such a population is high. The needs of population counties that are densely populated and highly populated are high. So when you compare a population of 3 million or 2.5 to a population of 1 million or the population of 400, then you can come down and agree somewhere. Devolution was to make things better for people in those counties. Devolution must always move with evolution. If you move devolution fast, all these things are coming back here, listeners of KBC, is because people moved devolution faster than evolution. Let's go back to the drawing table. Move both of them systematically, gradually. I blame the people who were put there to educate people about devolution. I blame them, the first people who were put there. They should have taught people that you don't do devolution without evolution. The crisis of Kenya today is a structural crisis, structural challenges that were brought by moving devolution faster than evolution. They should have moved together. For example, you find doctors are not being paid in counties, and some counties are paid doctors. That is the question of evolution of services. You have developed the services, but you have not evolved the services. So this whole revenue, everything, these small things packing up, it all depends. You are going to serve human beings, individuals. You are serving the population. The number of people in those forests. Neither do you allocate money to the desert, or do you allocate money to coffee, or you allocate money to trees or maize. You allocate money to a number of people, the services, those who are going to use the roads. So let Kenyans sit back and look at exactly what are the needs of these counties. Each county has its own needs. Some counties need boreholes. Some counties don't need houses. You get the point? Yes. Some counties don't need houses. Some counties need boreholes. Some counties need roads. Some counties have roads. Some counties need more hospitals. Some counties need schools. So there are needs for each county. So the senators should sit down and hammer the basis of the way forward. Running to remove the speaker who has done a very tremendous job, because you just have this element of Machiavellian. There's a Machiavellian wave that is taking shape here. And talking about that, there is another issue, and I think you have seen in the news now on Capital FM. I hope you are going to touch on it.
Which one, please?
The ICC.
Yes, let's talk about it as we wind up.
Yes, I have written last evening an express letter to the chairman, to the president of Assembly of State Parties, to cancel the entire exercise of the selection of the 4 candidates for the post of the chief prosecutor. I have that letter is circulating, is already delivered to the president in the Hague and in New York. I sent it because the whole exercise has been mad with corruption, with George Soros paying for the committee to sit, to have dinner, lunch, and other things in New York. The whole exercise hinges on Fago Gaina. In 2014, on 30th of September, I filed an application to the appeal chamber, or trial chamber 5, headed by Kuniko Ozaki. My appeal is there, which shows that Fago Gaina sexually abused, fraudulently abused, procured victim witnesses, paid 30 to 50,000 to get 154 54 witnesses. And the committee, the OTP received it, acknowledged it. I have evidence here. It was an embarrassment to the entire court. You remember on the 30th of September 2014, after they received that report, it took only a few weeks or months. They terminated the case. They did not want to go into the details of Fago Gaina. Fago Gaina also put an amicus curiae to the court in the line of Palestinians. So he cannot be a party to this type of selection. Two, the COVID situation has put most of us activists out of being in discussion to engage consultation. Today, they are opening consultation next week. Believe me or not, Kenyans will be taken for a ride. The whole world will be taken for a ride if we pick Gaina, who has already indicated that he hates certain people, certain situations in Africa. Therefore, I've called upon the president of the ICC to cancel completely the list and start a fresh list. Because the evidence I have that incriminates Gaina is enough to finish Gaina up to the kingdom of God. Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us. Always an honor having you on board. Thank you, David Matsanga, Chair Pan-African Forum, giving his tribute on the late Benjamin William Mkapa, the third president of Tanzania, who died last night, as confirmed by the incumbent, John Magufuli. Thank you. Good day and a blessed weekend ahead.
Thank you very much. Support President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and his efforts in uniting Kenya.
This is KBC English Service.